Hello. In this quick tutorial, we're going to talk about the settings page within FlipAlert. As you can see on our screen, the settings page can be found in the bottom left-hand corner of our menu section down here to settings. And settings is going to open up a few quality life changes for us as we explore FlipAlert. Now, if you haven't watched some of our previous tutorials, specifically on profitable flips, I highly recommend you do that, as some of the settings will be specific to that section. So up here, on the bottom, we're going to start under appearance, then we're going to work our way up and across for our different tabs. So we have the ability to update our keep a chart range. So if you can remember, we'll actually hop over and I can show you that right now. We're going to open profitable flips for a second. If you remember, if we hover over any of our profitable flips, we will see a keep a chart in the bottom right. As you can see, based on my screen, we are seeing the entire year of Keepa just by hovering. We can manipulate that in our settings. So right now I have 365 days chosen, but I can change that to 180 days or 90 days if I want to see more specific days. If for whatever reason too much is too much for me. Above that, we have streamer mode. So you can see this little icon in the upper left, and streamer mode is enabled, displaying simulated data for orders in ASIN Tracker. Task editing capabilities are temporarily suspended. This is not something that you will have to use very often, if at all. This is specific to those that want to maybe share FlipAlert with a friend and say, hey, this is what this new software is, this is what's going on, and you want to share your screen or share kind of videos. Streamer mode allows you to hide personal and private information, such as what exactly are you buying and what exactly are you tracking with your ASIN tracker. If you toggle it off, then of course you're going to have all the information that's yours, given that most of the time you're going to be using this in the convenience of your home or with your staff, and you don't have to worry about prying eyes. The sticky table headers, we have two options here. I'll go back to FlipAlert and you can see what I mean. We have this header right here. We have all of our columns with our different actions. As I scroll down, you can see that that column disappears. So we have to know what each column is. I, of course, can scroll left and right, but if I want to know the actual header of the column, I have to go up and review it. If I go over here and I click this kind of thumbtack, let me see if I can refresh the screen. It should be pretty fast. Now when I scroll, we have this header is stuck and moves with us no matter where I am on the screen. This is a huge value if you're on a desktop. I think you should always have this. The reason that we have this option though, and oftentimes why I have it off, is because if you're on mobile, when you have sticky headers stuck on, you will have a more difficult time zooming in and out. And I do use FlipAlert on my phone quite often. And so for that reason, I have it off because I like to be able to zoom into specific sections and specific areas. And when those sticky headers are on, that is not able to do that. But if you're going to be using this on your desktop and almost always on your desktop, of course, I highly recommend turning sticky headers on. And of course, you can come into settings and change it anytime. We have, of course, theme mode if you want to do light mode or dark mode. And I think this one kind of depends on the time of day. It will automatically do it for you. I am partial. Don't bark at me in the comments too much, but I am partial to the light mode a little bit. And then at the top, of course, a little shout out. Feel free to skip the next 5 seconds. But we do, of course, have referral options for those that want to refer their friends to FlipAlert. If you're loving the software so much and you want to tell their friends about it, we love that. And of course, get paid in the process. So you can get your specific referral link by clicking this button here. Our referral comes with 20% commission. So our product is about $100 a month, $97 a month for FlipAlert, and you'll get 20% of that every month that your friend stays a member. So 5 friends, and you essentially paid for your FlipAlert in total. We do have some folks that have made a little bit of money. I think a couple grand so far in just referral links. So it's an easy way to make some money if you're already going to talk about it. I'm not one to recommend just blasting referral links everywhere. I think that can be really annoying. But if you're in masterminds or in a friend group and you want to share FlipAlert anyway, it's a great way to earn a little bit extra money, and they don't have to pay you it. We'll pay you directly. No one loses any money when you do that. Notifications. So this is going to be really important. If you remember our tutorial we talked about on the profitable flips task section. So let's go there for a second. Under the tasks here, we looked at a specific task and we talked about this notifications tab. And this notifications tab is what allows us to send this particular task or these price drops that we're finding somewhere else. So they're always going to live in FlipAlert, but you can send them to a Discord server of your choosing with a maximum of 3 users in that server. That's you and 2 VAs. That is the goal of it. So let's say you have 1 VA and you don't want to give them access to FlipAlert directly and you only want them to be in Discord. You can do that by sending notifications from any particular task to a Discord server, a server that you must own. So only ones you own. You can't just be like a random member in a server and send stuff there. You have to own it, and that particular channel can only have 3 or fewer people that can view it. So to set that up, you're going to go into your settings. You're going to go into the notification screen. I, of course, already have this done. Yours is going to look a little bit different, but you're not going to have this bottom section here. You're just going to have this top, and it's going to say, hey, we need to authorize FlipAlert. You're going to click the authorize FlipAlert button, and it's going to open Discord. You're going to choose the server that you want to authorize. You're going to add our FlipAlert bot to that server. It's very, very straightforward. It's very simple. You know it's worked if you see our bot in your server. So if our bot is showing up your server, you got it. That's awesome. Then you're going to give it a little bit of time. It can take 5-10 minutes before everything gets connected. Once it's connected properly, you're going to see the section here where it says select server. So let's say you own more than one server, and you'll see in a second that I do. You're going to have all of your different servers that you own right here. So you can choose any server that you want. You can only send to one server, so you can't send different tasks to different servers. So you're going to pick one server. I highly recommend setting up a specific server just for FlipAlert, just for this reason. If you don't already have one, maybe just for your VA, set one up. It's very, very easy to set up a Discord server. Set up a server. I named mine FlipAlert Pings. I chose that, and now since I've chosen that, back here in our tasks, if we go to our task section notifications, now not only do I see the server, but here are the channels within the server. I can choose a channel, click save, and then all of those pings are not only going to be in FlipAlert, but they're also going to go to that channel in that server. It is very straightforward. You can also bulk update this. So for example, if I want to update all of my price drops, so all of these tasks at once, I can do that here. I can select the channel in that server and click update task, and we will bulk do that for you. Same thing for Async Tracker, and of course, same thing for Walmart. If you haven't seen those tutorials yet, that is what those different categories do. And then of course, the last section is called team members. So right now, for $97 a month, you get full access to all of our modules in FlipAlert. There is no nickel and diming. We don't have any upcharges. You get all of it. The only thing that you can pay for more is more seats. So think about any kind of software you've ever used on enterprise level. Generally, you have to pay per seat. Sometimes it can get very, very expensive. We wanted to give you the option to get a VA into FlipAlert. So not just in the Discord server, but actually into FlipAlert, create tasks, use the product finder, use the bookmarks, Async Tracker, do all the things that you can do without having to share your specific FlipAlert account, because you have to share your WAP account to do that. So for $20 a month, you get 2 extra seats. So you get your seat, which is an admin, and then you get 2 VAs that you can bring into FlipAlert and use. And what you'll see when you go to this tab is you're not going to see quite this section. You're going to have a kind of a button that says, hey, add this to your plan. So you click that and you'll go to WAP, and it'll be $20. It's going to be a recurring charge every month. Of course, you can cancel. And that's going to open this section here. Once this section is unlocked, you'll be able to create team members. So you can have 2 seats. I have one here, as you can see. But you can go to add team member. You can create any username you want. So you can VA number 2. You would then create a password. So test, for instance. You would then add that member. So we're going to randomize the username for you, just so that you don't pick a username that someone else has, right? So it has to be, we want this to be specific to you. And here's your password, test, which of course I made. So we have this. You would just give this to your VA. You would give this to your VA. And then if they went to FlipAlert's website, instead of logging into WAP, there is going to be a member login button, and they would just use the username and password. They would log in. They would see everything you can see for the most part here. Some things they cannot see, which is they can't change of course, like certain settings that we're seeing right now, they can't go in and create a VA. They can't go and delete VAs. They can't go into your orders tab and things of that nature. But for the most part, they're going to have full access to be able to manipulate the profitable flips and product finder and all the things that you want them to. And soon you'll be able to create different tiers to give them specific access to things. And of course, also view when they last logged in to make sure they're actually doing what they said they're doing. So that is, and I'm going to delete this here. Delete. That is the settings tab within FlipAlert. As always, if you have any questions on this or anything else, you can open a ticket in the FlipAlert Discord channel. You can write in Jumbo Chat and tag me, or you can head to Twitter if you're not currently a member and you want to get a hold of me at Saul Sell Stuff on Twitter. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial, and I hope you enjoy the next one. See you soon.